Happy Sabbath, everyone. Today, I'd like to share a testimony, and this happened 2 months ago. My husband and I attended a wedding, and it wasn't just an ordinary wedding. It was the 50th wedding anniversary celebration of a couple who have been through a lot, but managed to make it through their 50th. It was a Friday, and in the middle of the ceremony, my husband felt unwell. He had a high fever, and so we decided to go home right away, and I put him on bed. And while I attended to his needs, I also took care of my 2 young children. And I was still composed at that time, I remember. But when Sunday came, my 2 children were also stricken with fever. At this time, I attended 3 sick people in our little home without any help. Ever since I could remember, I am a firm believer of natural remedies. My children has never tasted any synthetics, and whenever my family is sick, we just apply natural remedies and constant prayer to God, supplication to God, until my faith was tested. This time, my daughter was restless. Her fever was so high and she was hallucinating, and all the muscles in her body become stiff. On the other hand, my youngest son was worst. He had convulsions for more than 5 times, and he's been battling with high fever, and it has been more than a week. The longest convulsion he had has lasted for almost a minute. His eyes were open that time, and his face had turned purple. I was just there, staring at him. It looks like he has been electrocuted. I couldn't do anything at all. I was just there looking at him. Finally, my husband suggested to let our son take paracetamol for kids just to lessen his fever. Actually, our children had fevers before, but it never lasted for a week. This was the first time they had this worst fever ever. I had an argument with my husband, reminding him of how we're trying to raise our children from the very beginning. They were also vegans, and as much as possible, we want the kids to live in the most natural way. That time, I didn't notice that a tear already fell on the floor. I was so devastated. I went upstairs right away, and I took my Bible and kneeled to the Lord in prayer. And I can still remember what I asked God that time, or what I said to God that time. I said, Dear God, what is healing my son to you? It's just a little thing, Lord. You're so powerful. You know we never put synthetics in our body. We believe in your natural healing. Please help me, guide me in what passage that I'm going to read today. Please help me, Lord. Right after that prayer, I can't believe after now, but right after that prayer, I opened my Bible, and the exact verse that caught my eye was found in Exodus chapter 15, verse 26. It says here, I'm reading in the King James Version, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and wilt give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, brothers and sisters? So right after I read the Bible, I went downstairs and I found my husband trying to feed my son with a little amount of water using the spoon. And that was the last time my son experienced convulsion. That was the end of his convulsion. My son was still sick, but his fever wasn't that high. And after that prayer, 3 days after, all my family were healed. Brothers and sisters in Christ, what is your faith in God? How are you going to be more closer to God? Is it the hardest way or the easiest way? Can you stand in what you believe in? Can you continue to do what you have started? 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13 says, "Be on the alert. Stand firm in faith. Be like a man and be strong." Thank you so much, brothers and sisters in Christ, for listening to my testimony. And